Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Suburban Driving with Miranda. As you can see, I have the all-new BMW M8 Competition Series. Now I know you want to join me for the drive, so let's go. Welcome to the interior, the gorgeous interior of the BMW M8 Competition. Now, as you'll all remember from my X5M competition video, this is an M car. It just touts the competition badge, which actually increases the horsepower in this specific vehicle. I'll talk about that a bit more on the drive, because right now I just want to focus on this interior. Now I know you can see to my side here, this is a stunning setup. I've got the quilted leather coupled with the smooth leather. There's that baseball glove color. I have Alcantara inserts. I've got Alcantara all over the top as well. The M stitching on the steering wheel. I've got carbon fiber inserts here and there, brushed chrome, and this is a gorgeous place to be sitting. It's comfortable, and in all honesty, it feels quite large in here, as compact as they've made it and as like race car cockpity as it can be. I still have room to breathe. Now this is a pretty big car, and I'll get to that as well when I talk about the exterior. Like, it's very long. This is a Grand Coupe, so it has that coupe silhouette, but it has 4 doors, which makes it slightly more practical. But let's get back to the interior. So I have a really nice big screen here. I'm able to connect to CarPlay via Bluetooth. It's a little bit sketchy sometimes. It drops in certain areas. The songs will skip out. It's not perfect, not as solid as a wire connection, but I'll take it. I also have a charge pad down here. I have all of my iDrive controls that I can get to with the big turning knob. If not, I can do everything on the touchscreen as well. Steering wheel buttons, exactly the same as the X5M. I have my M modes, the red fancy race car buttons that make you feel like you're driving an F1 car. And my red start stop engine button, which is also very important to get that V8 rumbling. I've got a full digital gauge cluster in front of me, which I can change up to look and show whatever it is that I need in that moment. If I'm tracking, I can have my my horsepower showing, my PSI for my turbo, I can have my G's, all of that. I can watch it, or I can simply have what's playing on the radio put in front of me. Yeah, it's just, this is a beautiful, beautiful interior. And truthfully, it has a lot of room. You know, you can see my son's seat in the back. He was happy to be brought to school last week in this vehicle, and he had lots of room. These seats are pretty thin, given that they are race seats. Normally, they'd be quite large, like the racing seats tend to be poofy in the back for some reason. But these are really nice, and they're adjustable in like a million different ways up here in the front. He has heated seats in the back, as do we up here in the front. The trunk is a decent size, but I always get very confused for Grand Coupes when the rear, like it's in a hatchback. Like, I want that whole trunk to me. I want that whole space to be able to use it. And it's not like that. The trunk just opens. So it's a little bit small, not super small, but it could have been larger, you know, if they took Audi's Sportback version of the A5 and the whole back end opens up. That just becomes that much more practical. But yeah, that's just, other than that, I mean, really, you can't complain about anything in this interior. It's just stunning. I love the M8 in the headrests. And just this quilted leather is just beautiful, and it smells so nice in here. It smells opulent, it smells luxury, and like I said, it's just super comfortable. So as you can see from the outside world, it is not the best weather here, nor has it been while I have had this beautiful vehicle. And you know what? That's okay, because this M8 comes with all-wheel drive. Now, despite having a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8, which produces 617 horsepower because it's the competition version, and 553 pound-foot of torque, I believe, which is a fairly decent amount of power to have at hand when you're driving on slick, snowy, not so nice roads. So despite all of that, I felt so solid in this car all week. You know, I drove my son to school, I took it on the highway, I had it in our suburban streets areas, I had it in really thick, heavy, deep snow, which the only downside to that is that it has a really big front lip. So essentially I was playing snowplow in my parking lot, which, you know, my neighbors kind of appreciated, I guess, but I don't think the BMW appreciated carrying around snow in the front like that. But even then, like, this thing is solid, man. And I was instantly reminded of years and years and years ago. I drove the Audi RS5, and it became one of my favorite vehicles. And after that, later on, I drove the RS7 as well. And they have this solid feel about them in the snow, thanks to Quattro. And it, despite having all these gobs of power and huge amounts of torque and horsepower and pull, you never felt like it was out of control. You never felt like it was going to slip. And that's what this car reminds me of. It just feels even so much more solid than the X5M that I had. And that's an SUV. This thing is grounded. It's planted. I never felt like I was going to lose it. If I wanted to kind of have a little bit of fun around a corner, sure, give it a bit more throttle. The steering will keep you in place. Everything kind of wakes up inside and the car goes, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. Sure, I'll let you have a little bit of fun, but not too much fun, because I'm still going to keep you on the road where you want to be. And it does all of that for you. And that's just really impressive. And I gotta say, it kind of instantly made me fall in love with this car. Now, of course, this is not a cheap, fun winter experience. It's starts in the 150s. I am sitting in one that's, I think, comes out final price at $165,000-ish. So this is not in everybody's budget, nor should it be. You know, the 8 Series disappeared in 99, I think was the last product year for the 8 Series, because it wasn't a hugely popular model. So in 2018, they brought back the 8 Series, and then just last year, 2019, the M8 came back. Do I think it's going to pick up in popularity? Possibly. I mean, this Grand Coupe look has become kind of the thing, because it gives you that coupe silhouette, but you still get the 4 doors, which obviously makes it a lot easier if you have children or passengers, or you want to actually get into your back seat without smashing your head on the roof. Always a bonus. But this is a really, really, really nice car to drive. The steering is spot on. I love the chunky M steering wheel to hang on to. I love the sound of the V8. This thing is loud. The cold starts in the morning are fantastic. It sits there, it grumbles, it rumbles, it carries on. You get that nice pop, fart, and bark out the back. If you downshift, I got my paddle shifters here I can go through, or I can even play with the length of gear holds that the car will do on its own. So it can either do quick, short gear shifts, so kind of shifting at the 3,000 mark there, or I can extend it and it'll hold on to those revs. Really, that's more for, obviously, sportier driving. You don't really want your revs to be held so long when you're in regular stop-and-go traffic. You might annoy people around you. But it's just, it's a ton of fun, man. And even in M mode, I can change everything. I can change how my steering feels, how my suspension feels, how my brakes are. You know, there's just so much to this car. And I feel like even in the week that I've had it, I have not properly explored everything that it can do. And of course, I haven't been able to take it on a track. I don't think that I would, maybe in this weather. Well, maybe I would, given how good the all-wheel drive is. But I feel like there's a lot more to it. And if you owned this car and you drove it every day, you'd probably find new things about it kind of all the time, or new experiences, and say, oh, that's how it handled this, or it did that so well, and I've never had that experience before. And it's just feels very BMW, feels very dynamic, and yet it feels different. It feels better, and it feels improved. And, you know, of all the M cars that I've driven over the years, you know, the M4 is fantastic and will always kind of be the not the flagship, and the M5 is heavier and bigger, but just this, it feels like one of the best M cars that I've had the pleasure of driving. There is absolutely nothing bad to say about the exterior look of the BMW M8 Competition. This thing is stunning. Nose to tail, it has gorgeous lines. Now, this is a big car. It is really long. I've had it parked beside a few normal cars, regular hatchbacks, regular sedans, and it is long. Even driving it, you're well aware of the size of the hood, but that's okay. It's grand. It takes up space on the road, as it should. Not only is it loud, but it is proud in the way that it looks. It has all the signature BMW bits and pieces, like the kidney grille, the angel eye headlights with the little blue accents. The rear end is just beautiful. Everything about this car screams performance and coupe, even though it is a four-door. That's why it is a Grand Coupe. It has a full carbon fiber roof, which you can't really see the difference with this color, but in the sunlight, all those little carbon fiber bits and pieces sparkle and shine. And honestly, just every angle, this car looks beautiful, even on its winter rubbers. It's on 20s right now, and it's a winter wheel, so not as fancy as the summers would be, but it still looks incredible. You know, kudos to BMW designers for bringing back the 8 Series looking the way that it does, because this thing turns heads. Well, that's been it for me in the BMW M8 Competition. Trust me, I am just as sad to see it go as I'm sure you are. I've had a phenomenal week with this car. Everything about it screams perfection performance in just the BMW way that you would expect it to. So I hope you guys had fun. As always, if you have any questions, you can hit me up at Miss Miranda L on Twitter or Instagram, or Miranda Lightstone on Facebook.com, or drop a message below. And I hope to see you guys back next week. Stay warm.